Hey guys, it's me, the Grubster. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about a little trip that I took just before the pandemic hit to Batuu. Batuu, also known as Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World, Florida. Let's take a look at all the cool things I brought back from my trip. Now, when you get to Batuu, it is such an unbelievable and awesome place for any Star Wars fan. If you're into Star Wars or like any kind of sci-fi, then this place is honestly amazing. Such a realistic representation of what it would be like to step into a world like Star Wars. Everything feels so real and true to the kind of story and canon of the world. And part of what happens when you go there, as well as the rise, is you get to go to Black Spire Outpost. Now, Black Spire Outpost is the shopping and the stores, and there's antiquities and dens and lots of different places that you can go and purchase, lots of unique and rare kind of items and memorabilia that you wouldn't really get to purchase anywhere else. So I'd like you to join me and talk about some of these really cool artifacts that I brought back from my trip. Now first, I'd like to talk to you about these. These are Han Solo's dice. At the Jaws of Bith, which is a shop in the Black Spire Outpost, you can purchase these dice and they will set you back about $12.99. They were something I just wanted as soon as I got there. As soon as I saw them, they're really cool. They don't really do very much. They kind of just sit on my shelf at the moment. But these dice in kind of Star Wars canon are really quite important. Han Solo used these in the game of Sabacc that he won against Lando Calrissian and won the Millennium Falcon. So a really important part of kind of Star Wars history, and you'll see these kind of hung up in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon as he uses them for good luck. So I've got these hanging on my shelf for the exact same reason, to hopefully bring me a little bit of good luck. They're the same two six-sided die. They've got different kind of inscriptions and kind of diagrams on the side of each one, and they were used in that game of Sabacc, which you can also buy at the same shop, Jaws of Bith. I didn't purchase it because maybe didn't have quite enough money to purchase all the kind of things that I really wanted to buy there, but come back with these and I'm really happy with the Han Solo dice. One extra thing that I purchased at the same shop, Jaws of Bith, was this. It's a Black Spire Outpost photo frame, and a really good place to put one of my kind of prized possessions in the front of it, the lightsaber that you build at Savvy's Workshop, which I'm going to go into a little bit more detail in a second. But this photo frame, fits any kind of 6x4 photo, and this set me back $19.99. Really well built, really nice wooden kind of frame, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge right inscripted on the back there. So at Savvy's Workshop, you'll get the opportunity to build your very own custom lightsaber. At Savvy's Workshop, you'll meet a group of guys and girls called the Gatherers, and the Gatherers will kind of help you put together your lightsaber in this covert kind of warehouse, this den. It's got lots of precious kind of materials and lots of different kind of artifacts and antiquities that are used to build out your lightsaber. When you arrive, you'll meet one of the Gatherers outside, and they'll help you select one of 4 themes, and those themes are basically what decides what your hilt looks like. You'll get a pin badge that will signify your kind of theme that you've chosen. This one, I believe, is power. And out of those 4, you can choose one that kind of suits your kind of vibe, your kind of the way you believe your Jedi would act and kind of feel. There's peace and justice, power and control, elemental nature, and protection and defense. And those 4 things are all different. The hilt looks and feels different, and there are lots of different kind of ones that you can choose from. And when you go inside, you'll start to build out your own lightsaber, like this one here. This is mine. And at first, you'll get to choose a Kyber Crystal. There are 4 Kyber Crystals to choose from, and each one of them in a different colour. There is blue, green, purple, and red. All with different kind of characteristics, but obviously the Kyber Crystals are all to do with different Jedi that have had them in the past. So blue if you want to be Obi-Wan, red if you want to be Kylo Ren or Darth Vader, green for Yoda and Luke Skywalker. I have chosen, here we go, blue, so I really like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's the one that I kind of chose. But you can buy other Kyber Crystals. If you go into Underdak's Den of Antiquities, there are lots more Kyber Crystals in here. I've also heard of a rumour that there is a black Kyber Crystal, and you can ask them at the checkout to choose a kind of random one, and I think there's a potential chance that you can get a black Kyber Crystal out of one. Now, one of the next things, if you want to stretch your budget a little bit, you can go and build one of these at Droid Depot. You'll get the opportunity to build, similar to the lightsaber, your very own droid. All the parts are yours to choose from, the colours, the way it interacts. It's also remote control, so it can run around on the floor. They can talk to each other if you've got children or childish adults like myself. They can kind of interact and do different stuff together. I'm going to go into a lot more detail about my droid in a future video, because there's so many parts to cover in terms of the overall build, the experience, what you get to do, and so look out for that in the future. I'll be talking a lot more about the steps involved with building out your own droid and kind of getting it constructed. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you was two little things I kind of purchased that my children would just not be quiet about when they saw them. Really random, I know, but it's some wooden toys. I've got one here. This is the Millennium Falcon, obviously. Small kind of wooden toy, Galaxy's Edge on the bottom there. And I've got also this little stand that has R2-D2 and C3PO on. Now, these were purchased from the Toydarian toy maker. Got these two wooden toys for my youngest and my eldest. They really wanted them as soon as they saw them, and as soon as they got them, had no interest in them whatsoever. So, I put them pride and place on my shelf. But to be honest, really poor quality, really poor quality. So as you can maybe see on this one a little bit closer, C3PO's arm is missing a piece that did get missing as the kind of connection of the springs got loose inside. And the Millennium Falcon, multiple of these kind of pieces on the top and at the front came off, and I've had to super glue them back together. So I wouldn't recommend purchasing this one unless you've got a real keen interest in these pieces or wooden toys in general. They don't kind of stand the test of time. They have required a little bit of repairing to keep them kind of the way they should be. The last few things I wanted to talk about were just kind of some freebies, some little extra bits, and kind of things you can collect on your way around Batuu, things that you can pick up from the eateries, from the bars, from cast members that are around in the kind of galaxy. And these are things you can just either pick up or you might have to pay for, but you can keep the kind of bit afterwards. So you've probably seen a lot of people with these. These are the kind of custom bottles for their drinks that you can purchase at any one of the kind of refreshment stands throughout the galaxy. This is a Diet Coke one. It kind of looks like, and I'd read reports beforehand that people would take them on planes because they look too much like grenades. Don't worry about that. Had it in my suitcase, not a problem. No one was really that bothered by it. This is a Diet Coke one. There's a Coke one, a Sprite one, and they just look really decent and really nifty. And it's something you won't be able to get like anywhere else other than Galaxy's Edge at Disney World. So something I really wanted to bring home and kind of have sat on my shelf, kind of looking just really cool. I really like it, and I think it's a decent kind of piece of memorabilia that I wanted to bring home. Another thing that you probably want to book before you go there is Ogres Cantina. You get like a 45-minute slot. It's just a bar, has a few snacks in there and drinks, and it's just a really kind of, it looks just like the cantina from Star Wars. The theming that has a robot DJ in the corner, it's just perfect and really cool. And one thing I took away from there was a few of these kind of placemats that they have for the drinks that you purchase. This one has a Tauntaun on the back, this one has an Ewok. They have different kind of themed ones. Just put some of those and took them home to kind of sit on the shelf. And I think that just a nice little kind of trinket from the trip to Ogres Cantina. And these are two extra things that I kind of got just as we were kind of going through stores and stuff. So we managed to get a gift card. When you go there, you know, I specified that I really like the kind of Star Wars gift card that we could have and load with our cash. So we got that one, that's pretty cool. And the second one that I have is if you meet one of the cast members to take a photo outside the Millennium Falcon, or kind of just meeting some of the characters, they'll give you, if you don't have the app, like a card to scan to kind of get those pictures. So I did ask one of those, and here's one with kind of a Black Spire Outpost kind of insignia on the front that I took away with me. And the last thing I wanted to show you was the magic band. So before you usually go, they'll offer you magic bands, although during COVID, I don't believe they are doing magic bands anymore. I believe it's all as part of an app. But in the future, I'm sure they'll bring them back. And this one is a Galaxy's Edge magic band, you know, limited edition. They don't have that many of them. You can have your own name inscribed inside of it. And it's just really cool. You know, there's a big selection. Did have to pay a little bit extra for these ones. They're not expensive, you know, $10 or so that you can get any special kind of ones you want. And this was just something that I really wanted to kind of take home from that trip to remember it. So there you have it, guys. That was all my kind of purchases from Black Spire Outpost at Batuu. I enjoyed the hell out of this trip. It was absolutely unreal. Felt like being really in Star Wars, in the world. And the good thing about Batuu is it's not part of the story that you've seen on the screen, but it still felt part of that connected universe. So any Star Wars fan that loves it will really enjoy Batuu and Galaxy's Edge. I highly recommend it. And just make sure that if you only go once, you bring back some of those trinkets, some of those fantastic pieces of memorabilia that you'll enjoy for the rest of your life. And I love them, they're great. And so thank you for watching my video. Please leave a comment below on what your favourite kind of piece of memorabilia from your trip to Galaxy's Edge, or what you thought mine was. I'd love to hear. I'll see you next time, and remember, keep an eye out in the future for my video on my droid that we built at Galaxy's Edge. I'll be covering that in a lot more detail.